Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now onto the latest news, a warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail! Lads and lassies, what a bombshell we've got for you today. Strap yourself because this yin's going to shake. Paradise to its core. Celtic Park has seen legends come and go. Hearts lifted and shattered. But the news that dazes them, Maeda is set to leave the boys at the end of 2025 has hit the fan base like a thunderclap on a quiet Glasgow morning. You heard right. The Japanese dynamo, the tireless warrior. The man who could outrun a bullet train if you gave him the sniff of a through ball is packing his bags. Word is the new offers landed on the table, and it's no just any offer. It's big, bold, and likely for a club looking to turn heads in Europe. After the stellar season he's just had, it was almost inevitable someone come sniffing. Still, for the Celtic faithful, the idea of Maeda no tearing doing the left flank anymore is something that's hard to swallow. You feel it in your gut. This is the end of an era and the beginning of something new. But before we greet him farewell, let's take a proper look at how the journey unfolded for the wee samurai. Back in 2016, a skinny lad named Daisen, Maeda made his professional debut with Matsumoto Yamaga in Japan's J-League. Nay, many paid attention back then, but from the start there was a fire in his boots. On 28th of February that year, he took his first steps into professional football, and by August he was already finding the back of the net, not in some league fixture, but in the Emperor's Cup against Tokuyama University. The boy had an eye for the goal, and even if he was still raw around the edges, you could tell there was promise. But promise only gets you so far in Japan's unforgiving league system. That's why Maeda went out on loan to Mito Hollyhock in early 2017 trying to carve out a name for himself. There he finally found the rhythm that would later define him. 13 goals in a single season, showing the rest of the country that this wasn't just a sprint merchant but a proper forward. Fast, fearless, and sharp as attack. He weren't a finished product, but he was already forming into the kind of player defenders dread. Now, after a cracking season with Mito Hollyhock, you'd expect his return to Matsumoto Yamaga to be the start of something big, right? But football's cruel like that sometimes. He couldn't quite cement a regular spot, and so like many ambitious players before him, he took the brave leap across continents, landing in Portugal with Marítimo in 2019. It's a big shift. From the bright lights of Tokyo to the Atlantic breeze of Madeira. It was there against the giant Sporting CP that Maeda made his European debut, coming off the bench in the 57th minute. Barely 2 weeks later, he got his first goal against CD Tondela, even if the match ended in defeat. What that showed, though, was that he could deliver under pressure even in unfamiliar lands. This wasn't just a boy trying his luck abroad. This was a determined athlete battling the odds. Europe got his first wee taste of Maeda's relentless style, but few would have predicted then that he'd go on to become a household name in Scotland. Nay yet, the lad still had miles to run, both literally and figuratively. After his stint in Portugal, Maeda headed back to Japan on loan with Yokohama F. Marinos in 2020. It was here that the real transformation began. On New 19th of August against Shimizu Spos, he bagged his first goal for the Marinos and helped end a 3-game winless streak. From that point on, his confidence soared like a seagull over Tokyo Bay. The lad was buzzing around defenders like a wasp at a summer BBQ. He was faster, sharper, and more ruthless in front of goal. By 2021, his move was made permanent, and then he truly exploded. A brace against Sanfrecce Hiroshima, 4 goals against Tokushima Vortis, 4, and then a consistent barrage of net busters that left him joint top scorer in the J1 League come season's end. The man was on fire. He finished the year in the J-League best echelon and shared the golden boot with Leandro Damião. That's nae small feat. Japan had nurtured him, Portugal had tested him, but now it was time for him to take on the big leagues of Europe once again. And that's where the Celtic chapter begins, folks. On Hogmanay, Saturday 1st December 2021, Maeda signed with the boys on loan, but with an obligation to buy. The fans were cautiously excited. Another Japanese import under Ange Postecoglou. But was he The real deal. We got our answer quicker than a pub sells out a lager on Derby Day. On the 17th of January 2022, he made his debut against Hibs and scored in the 4th minute. 4th instant impact. Parkhead erupted like it always does when it sees something special. From that moment, Maida was etched into the fans' hearts. He signed a permanent deal at season's end, and what followed was a whirlwind. He became a mainstay in Celtic's frontline, hounding defenders, pressing like a man possessed, and chipping in with goals all over the place. Even the Champions League wasn't too big for him. He came on against Real Madrid in 2022. Baptism by fire, eh? But he grew stronger with every match. The boy from Osaka had found his home in Glasgow. Fast forward to the 2024-25 season, and Maida wasn't just good. He was absolutely lethal. Over 30 goals across all competitions, lighting up the Scottish Premiership and Europe alike. His game matured, his finishing became clinical, and his timing was world class. He started banging them in after the winter break, like he had a personal vendetta against every net in the league. In the Champions League, he got his first goal against Slovan Bratislava and followed it up with crackers against Borussia Dortmund. Club Brugge and Bayern Munich. Bayern, that's elite territory. He joined legends like Shinji Kagawa and Takumi Minamino as the top-scoring Japanese players in the Champions League. That's no small stat. And for Celtic, he became the first since Joe Craig in 1977-78 to score 4 in UEFA competitions. The man was not just breaking records, he was smashing them. All this while still doing the dirty work off the ball. A manager's dream and a fan's hero. It wasn't just the goals though, was it? It was the way he made Parkhead feel alive. On 12 April 2025, when he scored against Kilmarnock, he set another wee bit of history. First Celtic player to score in 8 straight starts at Parkhead since the king himself, Henrik Larsson. Let that sink in. The man was treading on legendary ground. And the fans responded in kind. Every time he took to the pitch, the chant of Maida would ring out sung to the tune of Tequila by the Champs. The place buzzed when he was on the ball expecting the unexpected. That's what made him different. He didn't just play football, he electrified it. Whether it was a dart and run, a clever finish, or chasing down a lost cause, he gave everything. The Terraces adored him, not just for what he did, but how he did it, with heart hunger and relentless drive. And let's not forget, even when rumors began to swirl, he kept his head down and played on never letting the noise affect his game. That's professionalism, and that's what'll make him hard to replace. And just to top it off as if the goals and records weren't enough, Maida was nominated for the 2024-25 PFA Scotland Players Player of the Year. Think about that for a second. Among all the brilliance in the league, all the skill and flair, on display it was Maida, along with Celtic mates Callum McGregor and Nicholas Kuhn and Dundee's Simon Murray, who stood out. That kind of recognition is reserved for the very best voted by the players themselves. A true nod of respect. It was the cherry on top of what's been his finest campaign yet. But as always with football, when you're at your peak, the eyes start watching. Clubs circle like sharks scenting blood. And now, with that massive offer on the table, Celtic are facing a future without one of their most important figures in recent memory. But what happens next? Where is he off to? Why leave now? And what does it mean for the hoops going forward? So now we ask the big question. Why would a man at the height of his powers, adored by the Celtic faithful, steeped in history, and chasing records, suddenly decide it's time to move on? Well, in football, timing is everything. Word coming from behind the scenes says Maida's been approached by a massive club. We're talking continental pedigree, deep pockets, and a vision to build something with him at the heart of it. Could it be Germany, Spain? Even a cheeky Premier League outfit. Nothing's confirmed, but the insiders say the offer's too good to turn down. Not just financially, but in terms of career progression. Maida's 28, and if he's ever going to test himself on the grandest stages regularly, this is the moment. He's given his all to Celtic, and truth be told, he owes the club nothing. But the fans, that's where it stings. Because for many, he wasn't just a player. He was an emblem of the new Celtic, the Ange-inspired revolution, the tireless, fearless brand of football we've come to love. Replacing that energy, that drive, that sheer will to win. That's a tall order, and that's what makes this so bloody hard to swallow. But before we go hanging the scarves in mourning, let's look at this with clear heads. What Mader's done in green and white is nothing short of legendary. He didn't just show up and score goals, he redefined what it meant to be a Celtic forward in the modern era. Back in the day, it was all about Grayson Flair Larson's magic Sutton. Power! Mader brought a new weapon, relentless pressure. He hunted defenders like a wolf. You'd see fullbacks trying to breathe, and he'd be on them in seconds chasing every lost ball like it was the winner in a cup final. His work rate became the standard. Youngsters coming up the ranks were told, watch Mader. That's how you play for the badge. So if he leaves, he's no just leaving a vacancy on the pitch. He's leaving a blueprint, a legacy, a bloody high bar. That's the kind of influence you can't just sign from a catalog. His departure will hurt, no doubt. But Celtic's seen greats leave before, and still we rise. That's the spirit. That's what Mader would want for the fire to burn on. And don't for a second think Mader's decision comes lightly. Word is he's been torn up about it. Sources close to the player say he's been contemplating this move for months, weighing it up not just as a footballer, but as a man. His young family's settled in Scotland, he loves the fans, and he's built bonds with teammates that go beyond the pitch. But deep down there's ambition, and ambition's a powerful thing. Maeda's tasted Champions League glory. He wants more. More nights under the lights, more goals against Europe's best, more chances to prove he belongs at the top table. It's the same hunger that brought him to Celtic in the first place, remember? Back when he left Yokohama, folk questioned if he could hack it in Scotland's intensity. He did more than that. He conquered it. So now he's staring at the next mountain, and if there's one thing we know about Mader is this: he never backs down from a climb. You can curse the timing, you can grieve the loss, but don't ever doubt the man's motives. He's following his path, the same path that brought him into our lives in the first place. And where does that leave Celtic then? That's the £1 million question. In it, you've got a squad bristling with talent, young bloods chomping at the bit, and a manager with a clear vision. But let's not sugarcoat it. Replacing Mader is like replacing a heartbeat. He's not just a left winger or a center forward. He's an engine. The system was built to let him press, disrupt, and strike. So if he goes, the system needs tweaking, or you find another freak athlete with the lungs or a marathon runner. And the mind or a predator. Easier said than done. Recruitment will need to be bang on. The board can't drag their feet. The fans won't accept a half-measured response. And here's the challenge. You didn't just buy goals, you buy hunger. Maeda's hunger is rare. Will they look to Asia again or poach someone domestic? Time will tell. But what's certain is this: whoever pulls on that shirt next in Maeda's position is inheriting pressure like few others have. And as history shows, Parkhead loves a challenge. It tests players and it rewards those who rise. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Meanwhile, the fans are feeling it already. Socials are ablaze, forums buzzing, group chats overflowing. Some say he's betraying the badge, others are thanking him for the memories. That's football. Passion, pain, pride. But most deep down understand we've seen legends leave. Before, Van Dijk, Wanyama, Tierney, all left holes in our hearts. But we watched them rise elsewhere and we smiled because we knew we helped shape them. Same with Mader. If he goes to one of Europe's elite and lights it up, we'll not feel bitterness. We'll feel pride. He came to us raw and rapid. He leaves refined and ruthless. And in between, magic. That goal against Rangers, that night against Bayern, the celebrations, the chance to joy. Football's a collection of moments. Maeda's given us hundreds. So cry if you need to rage if it helps. But when the curtain falls, raise your pint and toast the man. He's earned it. Every bloody minute of it. Let's not forget either what this move means for Japanese football. Maeda's become a beacon for the next generation. When he lands his next gig, be it in La Liga Serie A or back in Portugal, he'll carry the torch for a wave of talent back home. Kids growing up in Osaka and Tokyo watch him and dream bigger. He broke barriers at Celtic. He made Japanese players more than just technical midfielders. He made them warriors on foreign soil. With Kagawa and Minamino paving the way, Maeda's carved out a legacy all his own. He's proof that work ethic can shine anywhere. That relentless energy that never say the attitude. It's universal. It speaks to fans, coaches, and scouts across the globe. So this next move is not just about him. It's about the next boy from Kyoto kicking a ball against a wall, imagining Parkhead roaring his name. Maida's story doesn't end in Glasgow. It echoes far beyond. And if you ask me, he'll wear whatever shirt comes next with her. Same pride he wore to hoops. Because that's who he is. Not just a player, but a pioneer. As 2025 winds down, we brace ourselves for that final match in the green and white. The moment when Dazen Maida steps off the Parkhead pitch one last time. Can you imagine it? The crowd standing voices, hoarse tears in eyes, chanting his name one final time to that daft tequila tune. The floodlights beam down, the banners wave, and the man himself, humble as ever, lifts his hand in thanks. A full circle moment. From unknown import to a Celtic icon. That final whistle will carry weight. Not just for him, but for every supporter who sang his name in the cold rain or watched him through a screen from afar. He gave us everything, and now we give him goodbye. There'll be hugs, there'll be tributes, maybe even a mural one day. And then life goes on. Because Celtic's bigger than any one man, but it's built on the shoulders of men like Maida. So thank you, Dyson, for the sprinting, for the smiling, for the silence-breaking goals, for being Celtic through and through. Wherever ye go next, you'll never walk alone. That's not just a phrase. That's a promise. From the boys, from Glasgow, from all of us. Now imagine this just for a second. Picture yourself a few years down the line. It's a Champions League night lights day in that magical glow, and Maida's wearing the colors of his new club. He's standing on the sideline, arms stretched, chest puffed, ready to come on against one of the giants of Europe. The camera zooms in on his face, and there it is, that familiar steely look in his eye. But behind it, yeah, Ken, what's there? Parkhead, the noise, the boys, the memories, the song echoing in his head. Maida, it never really leaves you, does it? He'll wear different boots, maybe speak a new language, but once a Celt, always a Celt. And when he buries a screamer into the top bin, the pundits will talk about his rise's journey and where it all kicked off properly in Glasgow's East End. That's what Celtic does, mate. We build players, we give them the stage, and then we watch them soar. It's bittersweet, but it's beautiful too. Because when Maida shines abroad, a wee bit of Celtic shines with him. That's the power of paradise. It leaves its mark forever. And what about the rest of the squad? They'll feel the loss, no doubt. It's one thing losing a top scorer, but it's something else entirely when you lose the guy who sets the tempo, who presses first, who leads by example, even when the match is dragging. But in moments like these, new leaders are born. Maybe Kuhn steps up or Abada comes back into the spotlight. Maybe young Rocco Vada takes inspiration and says, I'll carry that torch. That's the beauty of a club like Celtic. We don't just rely on one man. We build a system where every player feeds off the next. And as sad as we are to see Maida go, there's opportunity here. Fresh tactics, new partnerships, different ways to break teams down. Because football never stops. And neither do the boys. The coaching staff will already be planning, analyzing, scouting. One chapter ends, another begins. And while Maida's legacy remains, the squad adapts, evolves. That's how Celtics lasted through the decades. Resilience. So here's Taylor's future. Unwritten, uncertain, but full of promise. Just like it was when Maida first arrived. So when the dust settles and the headlines fade, what remains is a story. The story of a lad from Japan who came to Scotland and gave every last drop for the shirt. Who sprinted when others stood. Who smiled in the fiercest fixtures. Who became more than just a player, he became a symbol. Maida's time at Celtic will be remembered not just for the goals or the stats, but for the feeling, the pride in the stands, the buzz before kickoff, the roar when he chased down a hopeless ball and made it magic. That's football in its moments. Emotion, connection. And while his journey continues elsewhere, he leaves something behind, a legacy carved in sweat and song. So let the jersey be hung, let the banners fly, let the chants rise. Maida, you gave us memories we'll tell our bairns about. And wherever your boots take you next, just remember, you were loved here, properly loved. And that kind of love, it never fades. It echoes through the tunnels of Celtic Park, through the hearts of every supporter, through time itself. Go well, warrior. Go bold. We'll be watching. Always. Hello fan, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.